Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is just a quick trigger warning. If you don't want to hear discussions revolving around nudity, stalking, anything weird like that, then just don't watch this video. Story number 1 is Incel creeps on OP's girlfriend after his character dies in DnD. Off to a really weird start, I see. This was posted 3 days ago in r/rpghorrorories by far_row8335. Player unsatisfied with ending to campaign decides to nuke friendship over it. Hello Reddit, first time posting on this site. I just wanted to tell my story because of a player that left scars on my psyche, and it kinda shifted my desire to play D&D for a while. Characters of importance to me, GM/DM, Salisbury, former player 1, and Eurydice, problem player 2. This takes place over my personal Discord playing D&D 5e. Group that had 2 campaigns going on. One campaign fizzled out due to the players getting busy with life. Then we had a second game that started as a one-shot, but evolved into a full campaign. We'd been playing for 1 year now, but we decided to take in new players. My ex-girlfriend invited a friend she had from work, which was Salisbury. Salisbury played a wild magic kobold. The character was played to be babyish for the majority of the game, but the character matured and evolved over the game, eventually becoming one of the key players in the story. Around year 2, and a few story arcs down, a friend I already known from Facebook decided to chat up in the group seeking refuge from their old D&D group, claiming the previous group had treated them poorly with targeting her character, fudging the enemies, all to just attack her. This player was Eurydice. They played a Goliath barbarian. The character was a cookie-cutter barbarian with the backstory of a basic tribe exile. We played for months and years, and the players were tasked to get their unique magic weapons, but to fully awaken the weapons, the characters needed to become paragons of the character's virtue. I told the players, please tell me in private how their character would react and what their virtues are so that I could craft a story beats and scenes that relate to them exemplifying their virtue. Most players obliged, except for Eurydice, who didn't give me anything to work with and never communicated properly what her character wanted and their beliefs. So the story went on, and we reached the climax, and I admit I am not the best GM when running a story and have a lot of pitfalls. All the characters awakened their weapons in some grandiose style, and some not. But Eurydice, their awakening was sudden, because they literally didn't give me anything to work with other than the theme of self-sacrifice. So I shoehorned a character with great power comes great responsibility thing. I would later learn apparently this was the start of their resentment towards me. The story went on, and the players took down my BBEG, an ancient white Dracolic, with a mix of magical MacGuffin and some genuinely good combat. I wanted to end the game with a simple, they made it back to where it all began, grab a pint and fade away. But the players pressured me to do epilogues for them. I did epilogues to the best of my knowledge of the players' characters, for Eurydice and Salisbury. Salisbury originally wanted their character to die, but I later learned they were pressured by Eurydice to change it, that the character reincarnates but as a child. Eurydice claims their character would take care of the reincarnated Salisbury. So I ran with it, not giving much detail because, again, I was not talked to about their character. It left a bad taste in my mouth, so after we closed off for the night, I tried to tell the players I rushed the ending and wanted them to figure out their own epilogues because I could not do their characters justice. All was quiet for a while. Then Eurydice made a scathing post on social media claiming I was targeting them and that I had intentionally given her character equal limelight like I did for others, when again, They always played their character in a very reactionary way and never communicated with me how they wanted their story to end. And they said me trying to change it post ending, that they could create their own epilogues, was a lazy hand wave. A few weeks go by, and I was suddenly blocked by Salisbury. Later found out by my ex that Salisbury and Eurydice had an argument about how the story of the campaign ended. So they were presented with an ultimatum. It was either Eurydice or me by Eurydice. They chose Eurydice and now treat me in Discord server like I don't exist. Both players are still in my Discord server, but I don't speak to them unless spoken to. And they treat me as ghosts. So I do the same. End of story. Apologies for the formatting, because this is my first time posting, and it is a little hard to recount slights and resentments that go back years ago. Overall, the conflict is minor, and I just wanted to let my feelings out so the pain does not fester. Granted, it is hard not to resent someone when they're trying to isolate you from your friend group and paint you to be an ungodly monster. I can definitely relate. OP here would not want to feel excluded from their friend group. They feel like they're being called a monster because they're being ostracized by their friends, especially folks that you're running multiple different campaign sessions with. That these are people that you're pretty close with, and probably you just want to figure out like, hey, why did this happen? Let me get to the bottom of this. Where did I really go wrong here? And honestly, just kind of reviewing the story here, I mean, if you guys all talked it out, you've done what you can, honestly. Like I think it's just time to call it a quits and maybe just find a new group or something, because if they're not even willing to talk and they're gonna slam you on social media, um, those aren't really friends that you want to have. That's not necessarily that like both of these friends are doing that. Maybe it's just one of the two people that you used to run campaigns with are now talking poorly of what you've done or who you are on social media, which ultimately just really doesn't matter at the end of the day. It's just weird gossip that's just going to be filtered out into the nothing. So it's not like them making these videos is really going to ruin you. If anything, they're probably not going to get a ton of attention from doing it. It's more just they're upset, and that's their way of expressing themselves probably. But best of luck to you, OP. I appreciate you sharing that story, and hopefully you can go forward with some better friends, you know, and run some campaigns that you're actually having fun running. Maybe you can even start to DM and kind of play your hand there. So that's my suggestion for that one. On to story number 2. Today I fucked up and flashed my D&D group. Also a weird story, so get ready again. This is from Call Me Helicase. Today I fucked up by flashing my D&D group. Obligatory, this didn't happen today, but about a month or two ago. I play an online D&D campaign on Roll20 and was just starting a new one since we died in our previous session. I'm one of those people who hates wearing clothing, so, as per usual, I stripped down to my underpants, got comfy in bed, and opened up Roll20. Roll20 was taking a while to load the new campaign, so I switched tabs to do something else. Here comes the fuck up. Apparently, Roll20 defaults to webcam whenever you open a new campaign. I had been in my last campaign for several months, so I'd completely forgotten this. I guess I didn't have Discord on because I got a text and a Facebook message from 2 different party members telling me that my webcam was on. I of course switched to Roll20 and quickly saw a whole lot of skin. I panicked and didn't know what to do, so I threw my laptop backwards, camera facing ceiling, hid, and made my boyfriend do something to make it go away. I then proceeded to hide from my group for like 30 minutes because I couldn't cope with the fact that at least 2 of them saw my boobs. I now have a webcam cover and always wear a shirt. TLDR, the D&D program I use defaulted to webcam when I wasn't wearing a shirt, and I was unaware for a few minutes. That should preserve a permanent +2 charisma modifier for the remainder of the campaign. That's awesome. I love that. Or -2. You're assuming people wanted to see it. Oh, okay. Well, give her something, man. You gotta put a positive spin on it. I had a similar incident where my ex-wife walked behind me during a session after finishing a shower. From where I was sitting and the fact that the door wasn't closed, I never heard her come in. She walked by, dropped her towel, and proceeded to get dressed. All while, I had my head down rifling through PHB looking for a rule. I heard a few gasps before my best friend just calmly said, Demood DMO Doom. Oh, that's just his username. My best friend just calmly said, Bro, webcam off now. I've known him for years, so I didn't question him, just reached up and tilted it down. I looked behind me, turned a ghostly white, and bribed the group with some legendary items to never talk about the event. Awesome. I mean, you've got Redditor stories in the comments, even sharing their screw ups. It happens. It seems like it's an honest mistake to make. It wasn't something that you were purposely trying to do. It wasn't something that guy's wife was purposely trying to do. Nobody's really trying to flash anybody unless you're trying to flash somebody. But obviously, in both those situations, doesn't seem like that was the case. So, all's well that ends well. I think the charisma modifier is a funny add-on to the campaign as well. And that is the end of the video. Thank you so much for hanging out. Thanks so much for checking me out. And hopefully, I'll see you again here soon. Thank you. Bye.